bless you. This is the Reverend Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Dios lo bendiga. Este es Reverendo Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Welcoming you to another broadcast. At this hour, we have our bilingual broadcast, our teaching in English and Spanish. So we ask that you be patient as we translate live on the fly between languages. Esta es la hora que damos la enseñanza en inglés y español y pedimos que tengas pues paciencia mientras que traduzcamos de un idioma al otro. Aproveche y aprende el otro idioma. While we're at it, you can learn the other language as well. Es un beneficio de sintonizarse con nuestro ministerio. It's a benefit, an added benefit, I should add, of tuning in to our ministry. God bless you all and welcome. Dios le bendiga a todos y bienvenidos a esta especial programa de hoy. Today is Father's Day here in the U.S. Hoy es Día de los Padres aquí en los Estados Unidos. Y estamos pues dando una clase bien especial porque incluye varias informaciones que usualmente son reservadas para mis cursos de primera clase, cursos que cubro $10,000 para arriba. Así que van a recibir un don especial hoy por ser Día de los Padres. Y porque siempre digo que todo lo estoy dando gratis, solo tienen que oír mis enseñanzas los domingos, así que nadie siempre está pidiendo plata o pide mucho. No, pido mucho si no vienen a la iglesia. Si van a venir a la iglesia y oír, es gratis. Okay, so today we're going to give you a special class today. This is a multi-$1,000 worth class that you're going to get information today, which forms parts, a little bit, obviously. My courses and my web seminars are multi-day, so obviously it's just going to be 2 hours here. But today you're getting some little snippets of gold in our teaching today as I reveal certain little things that would have been heard by our $10,000 a seat attendees at one of our seminars and or otherwise our courses. So today's a very special day. It's a gift to all you fathers, those who are wise enough to come across the channel and to listen in today. Like I always say, a lot of things that I teach are free. They're available on Sunday and on the Shabbat classes. I give them out little pieces here and there, but no one can say that everything I do is for money and this and that. I give it for free. It's just that you guys don't want to go to church. Or you want to go to the other churches there for whatever they give you. I don't know. But this church, at least, we're giving you some real valuable information. So today is one of those days that you need to listen carefully and you need to take action on the little bit I'm going to give you. Así que today we're going to discuss the three most important things or areas that you need to teach your children, your kids. Next week is our last teaching for this part of the year. We take always our summer sabbatical, if you will, before we get started back up in September. So next week, the last class is what you need to do with your family right now, for your family right now. That's next week. So these two classes here, like the most important classes of 2020 and possibly for the rest of your lives. Because I don't think I'll be going back to these topics again. You know, the only time I covered this and a lot more of these things that we're going to talk about today are usually in my premium classes, the classes that we charge for and the seminar. So today may be your last opportunity to get at least something that actionable that you can benefit from without having to take my $10,000 courses. Okay, so this is it. So share and let people know, other parents, other friends of yours. Hey, if you're going to listen to anything ever in your life, this thing right now is what you need to listen to. So that's really what you need to get the word out to anyone else, because this guy's giving out thousands of dollars worth of valuable information, and you're going to hear it right now in the next 2 hours. Así que si este enseñanza de hoy es una enseñanza que quizás nunca más lo van a poder recibir gratuitamente, lo que voy a dar hoy son unas partes, son partes pequeñitas de los cursos y seminarios que doy a $10,000 a cada persona. Así que si tienen amistades, familiares, etcétera, etcétera, que pueden beneficiar de algo así de tan importancia, escríbelos ahora, invítalos a escuchar, porque de esto no van a oír más quizás por el resto de sus vidas. Esto es lo más importante y es vital. Así que invita a sus amistades, invita a sus conocidos, familiares, a que escuchen esta enseñanza de hoy. Now, today, obviously, my family here is getting things ready for Father's Day feast. I guess it's the best way to call it. Everyone here is so appreciative of me as being their father. And I am appreciative, I think, more because I have more knowledge than most of the youngins here. I'm more appreciative of them more than anything else. And than they could possibly be, because obviously the children look up to you and they admire you, of course, but they're still standing from a point of a little knowledge, right? Of whatever they understand, whatever level they're at, they just know that to them, that's the most important thing, as it is in your family, I'm sure. But on my end, knowing what I do know, I'm really more appreciative of them that they can in any way be with me. And that's the truth. So, again, this day is they're celebrating this day, but in all things, I'll take this moment that no matter how much you admire your parentage, your fathers in this day, we are just a little snippet, just like the teaching is, of the $10,000 of seminars and informational engagements with me. It's only just a little fraction, little tiny thing. Fathers are in as an example, as a representation of our Father which art in heaven, and to him be all the glory and all the honor this day. Amen. Así que nosotros como padres, no importa, no obstante qué buenos somos, qué admirados somos con nuestros hijos, la realidad es que nosotros, tan dadivosos, tan amorosos, tan responsables que seamos, somos una poquita cosa como representación de el Padre Celestial, que recibe y que merece toda la gloria y la honra en este día y todos los días. Amén. Gloria a Dios. So, así tenemos que recordar esa realidad. So today we remind ourselves today of the fact that the Father in heaven, our true Father, our Creator, our origin, amen, he deserves all the praise, all the honor, all our admiration, more than we muster for our earthly parentage, that he deserves all and more than we can possibly give. And so, therefore, we need all the days of our lives to live in demonstration of that appreciation. So, necesitamos todas las días de nuestra vida para demostrar nuestra aprecio por todo lo que Dios es para nosotros. So today, those three things, I had to, in other words, to bring things to a conciseness. As you know, that's a problem here. To bring things to a conciseness, I had to bring things down to three main things. There's so many things that we can talk about. But the three main important things, and I think in order of precedence, I have laid out in this program today. The first of them is spiritual, things that our kids need to know now. And the first thing was spiritual, is seeking God and the truth, knowing how to. Very important. Not forcing religion on them. That I don't agree with at all. And you can ask my kids here if you know them. Has daddy ever forced religion onto you? And they all will say no. I mean, especially the oldest here, that has more value. I mean, I said this about 2 days or 3 days ago on to him, and I said, that I've never forced you to be religious. I never forced you to be Christian, and some people may have issue with that because we should be training up the child and training up the child and forcing them to be a Christian are two different things. Ya hay gente, yo no creo en forzar a los hijos ser cristiano, ser religioso. Muchos padres mal aplican los versos bíblicos que hablan de entrenar el hijo en el camino. Vamos a considerar, you can even see it here. And I'll show you the scripture. We're going to start with that scripture. Y vamos a empezar con esta escritura aquí. En Proverbios 22:6, de entrenar un hijo en el camino, y cuando llega a ser viejo no se apartará de ella, right? So we've all heard that verse, train up a child in the way he should go, even when he is old he will not depart from it, right? So, but again, that's not forcing religion. Wasn't the intent. See, because again, we can read in other places in Scripture where God says that this people honor me by their lips only, and their heart is far away from me. So that's not what God wanted. He didn't want people trained up to say, "Oh God, we love you," or "We serve you," and I'm a Christian, right? He wanted people like what Jesus said, in spirit and in truth. Como Jesús dijo, en espíritu, en verdad, no gente de labios nada más que le honran, que son los religiosos. So no malinterpretan la Biblia. Okay, so again, en su práctica con su familia no debemos estar forzando a los hijos nada religioso. Ahora, si tenemos que ir a la iglesia, no se va a quedar solo en la casa. So but let's make the best of it. While you're in church, make the best of it. Make friends, be around. But we're not, don't be religious because everyone else is religious. Nosotros llevamos los hijos a la iglesia porque no pueden quedarse en la casa solos, ¿no? Pero tampoco queremos que los hijos sean religiosos porque porque somos religiosos y que no deben ser religiosos, pero that's another topic, right? O porque los demás sean. What I always promote and always teach is genuinamente, la persona que sea servidor de Dios genuinamente. No tiene que ser perfecto. You know, what we're teaching is genuineness. Well, not perfectness either. We're seeking towards perfection, and we should be perfect as the scripture says. So we can only say what the scripture says. The scripture says be perfect. So we strive towards perfection. But that is not religious. That's not religiosity. Eso no es ser religioso, right? Um, queremos que haya genuino, lo genuino. We want that there to be genuineness in our character and in our walk in the Lord, in the things of God. That we be genuine, not religious, not fake, not presenting or defending beliefs that we have no reason for. You know, you don't even understand it, but you're defending it. It's ridiculous. That's fake. What we promote is genuineness. So I think that we are better teaching genuineness to our children than to teach religiosity. So prefiero, o mi creencia es que es mejor enseñar lo genuino a nuestros hijos que lo religioso. You know, our children need to know that we're human. What is it to be human? Los hijos necesitan saber que nosotros somos humanos. ¿Y qué es ser humano? Que quiere decir que no somos perfectos, right? Which is to say that we're not perfect. We are flawed. Okay, FLAWED. So that there's no real perfection in our humanity. That is always true. But in the spiritual things, we can be or strive towards perfection as long as the physical things are quashed or controlled or dominated. Then there can be spiritual perfection or towards that as much as possible. That's where our perfection is to be had, not in the flesh. Nuestra perfección se realiza en lo espiritual, no en lo físico, no en la carne. La carne no puede ser perfecto porque ahí se manifiesta el pecado. Our flesh is where the sin is manifested. So it can't be perfect by definition or by nature at this moment. En nuestra realidad, la carne no puede ser perfeccionado, y cuando la Biblia habla de perfección, no está hablando de nuestra carne, está hablando de nuestro ser. So when the scripture is speaking towards perfection, it's not speaking towards our flesh at all. It's speaking towards our being, okay, which does not include the flesh. So again, we need to make that separation, that understanding of how the scripture is referring to what is and isn't perfection, right? So we have to understand that. Así que nuestros hijos es mejor que aprendan ser genuinos. You know, it's better that our children learn to be genuine. And the child can learn that well if he is exposed to the proper spiritual teaching. El hijo puede aprender cómo ser genuino si está expuesto a la enseñanza correcta de lo espiritual. Okay, so what do I mean by this? What is the spiritual things? What are the spiritual things? ¿Qué son las cosas espirituales que un niño debe de aprender? The main thing that a child has to learn, and that you guys have to teach him as fathers or as single parents, right? If you're a single parent and you're the father and mother and everything else, is that the child needs to know that they have access. It's the most important thing. El hijo necesita saber, el niño, que tienen acceso. The main issue with spirituality is access. That's what it refers to in the human context. En el contexto humano, lo espiritual se refiere al acceso a lo divino. So that the skill that a child must develop and must have is the skill and the knowledge that they have, or that God is always ready, ears are always open to a contrite and humble heart. Okay. So que los oídos de Dios siempre están expuestos a un corazón contrito y humillado. Okay. Muy importante que el niño sepa que Dios siempre lo escucha. Siempre tienen acceso a lo espiritual. The child needs to know that he has access to the spiritual things. God is hearing and is available to hear the prayer, a humble prayer, a heart of humbleness, in contriteness, in the presence of God. They need to learn how to seek in humbleness the presence of God in their life. This is one of the most important things that a child needs to learn. He needs to have this experience. If you guys are teachers of children, and parents of children, uh, you need to opportune the child with spiritual access moments. I think my pastor, the most important thing, that he rest in peace, but the one big thing in my life, the key, was that the pastor made certain that there were spiritual opportunities for people to seek God, the presence of God. And this is a very important thing in church. It's not the activities. It's not the clubs, the meetings, the sports things, the socials, or anything like that. The most important thing is that the church is open early. If you guys go to church, physical temple, that temple is opened earlier than the church service begins for prayer, for those people who want to seek God. Amen. Before church begins, remember that the church would say it's open at 7:30. Service starts at 7:30, but that church was open from 6:30, from 6 o'clock, and that altar was there. The quietness of the altar in before pre-service is the most beautiful moment of the church service. And really, I mean, if anyone has had the opportunity to warm up the church, if you will, in prayer before the church service begins, I mean, that church service is way different than people who come walking in, when everyone's already singing. Going to church and being there early and praying early on really sets the tone and sets up the dynamics of the spiritual blessing of that evening or that morning, if it happens to be a morning service. Así que la iglesia, lo más importante que nuestros pastores nos brindaron a mi persona y a la congregación cuando yo crecía en las cosas de Dios, era el tiempo antes del culto, antes que empezara el servicio. Y casi siempre la iglesia estaba abierta una hora y media antes de que comenzara el culto. Y esos momentos eran lo más importante en mi vida. Cuando yo digo que yo aprendí de Dios, era en esos momentos, really. I've mentioned often that I learned from God, directly from God, a lot of the things, most of the things, if not all, the things that I teach. I learn all of that during the pre-service. That was my class time. Pre-service prayer time at the altar. That's where I did the basic main core of my learning was during that time, an hour and a half before the service began. That's where me and God, we were having our back and forth, and He was teaching me a lot of stuff. Okay. And people who don't have that hour and a half before the church service begins, you really don't, you're just not aware. You're not aware of a lot of things that God has for you because simply you're not taking the time to learn from God. Sencillamente que los que vienen solamente al culto, a adorar a Dios y a oír el mensaje, y no tienen esa hora y media antes del culto para dialogar con Dios, para conversar con Dios, para estar con Dios, pues ustedes ustedes en realidad no saben la realidad de las cosas, no están aprendiendo de Dios lo que Dios quiere enseñarte. Los mensajes están buenos, los tienen que entender, pero hay una función. Usted entenderá cuando empieza la oración y la búsqueda de Dios, la verdad, antes del culto. Ustedes después de un tiempo van a reconocer que cada cosa en el culto tiene su propósito, pero nada es como la oración antes del comienzo del culto. You're going to understand if when you start praying and being with God before the service begins, that hour and a half before the service begins, and after you do that for some time and you really get in, connect with God, that's when you begin to realize and really you'll see it that the things in the service have their purpose, but they cannot replace ever, even the message, even the preaching of the word cannot ever replace that hour and a half of sweet relational prayer with God before the service. You're missing out on one of the most spectacular and wonderful learning opportunities that God has granted man ever in the history of mankind, really. And I say that with such emphasis because I lived it. I know what I'm talking about. And so, if anyone deems me a distinctful teacher, that hour and a half before the service begins, that everyone else gets to church with that, with just that 5 minutes of time right before everything starts, you guys really don't know about. You really don't know about. So basically, that makes the difference. Así que esa hora y media antes del comienzo del culto es lo que hizo una diferencia en mi vida. And for that reason, I applaud my pastor, rest in peace, because he availed the church for that early prayer always. The church was always open an hour and a half before any and all of the services. And the altar's there. It's free, folks. Listen, just like today's class, where you're going to get $10,000s worth of some snippets at least, but from $10,000 plus courses and webinars that I give, seminars, hour and a half of prayer before the church begins. It is gold, simply gold. Eso es oro, esa oración. Esa comunión con Dios antes de que comienza el culto. Los recomiendo a todos. Okay, so listen. So this is very important. So yes, the first thing is to teach a child that God hears their prayers and to make the prayer and the communion with God accessible to the child. And this is without don't need a religious context for this. It's just simply giving the time in your home before you do other things in your home, like in the mornings. Now the kids are home from school. There's no school, and right because of the pandemic, there was no school. Están en la casa los niños. Por lo pandémico no había escuela, etcétera, etcétera. Ahora empieza el verano pronto, o ya ha empezado para algunos de ustedes. Pues entonces, antes que comiencen el día, vamos todo aquí. Lo que se hace aquí, lo voy a decir lo que hacen. Lo que hacemos nosotros, mi esposa, es que se reúnen, después que comen desayuno, van a la sala y todo el mundo dobla rodillas y mi esposa conduce una oración para todos. Y todos los niños están doblados sus rodillas y orando a Dios. So what happens here every morning is that my wife, after they eat breakfast, my wife gathers all the children in the living room and she leads them in prayer. They're all with their bent, they're on their knees and they're learning to pray to God humbly on their knees as one of the prayer positions. And it's their time to talk to God and to pray to God. When we go in the car, we pray to God, in the first thing. So we avail prayer. This is not teaching them to be religious. What it is, it's availing them access time, because otherwise, we're giving them things to do. Do this, do that. Brush your teeth, do that. Okay, let's go to the car. Let's go, and then you just let them talk to each other. Whatever. They're not given an opportunity. Well, wait a minute. Let's pray to God. God can hear us now. We're in the car. We're in the living room. Whatever. Same thing with the bedtime prayer, right? You teach your kids to pray before going to sleep. It's always a good thing, very helpful. Así que también enseñar a los niños a orar antes que se acuesta, así al lado de la cama. Otra oportunidad. So we see that durante el día, and we teach them to eat, pray before eating, and enseñamos también a orar antes de comer. But we're not teaching them to be religious. We're not saying, we have to do this. This is like the law of God or something like that. That this has to be done. This is not the way we do this. This is simply availing the opportunity. And even my pastors, the prayer in coming early to church wasn't told to anyone to do. All my pastor did was say, the church service begins at 7:30 p.m., but the church is open, at 6:30. And the altar is open for anybody who wants to come. That's basically all he said. It wasn't a religious, this is what we have to do. There's certain denominations that would tell you, you got to do this. You got to come here at 6, or they'll tell you got to fast. You got to fast 3 times a week. Because I know there's denominations that do that. That's teaching religiosity. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. There's people who say, the law of God says do this, the law of God says that. That's, again, teaching religiosity is teaching to honor God, through the lips, because you have to, and others have to see you do it or hear you do that. We don't do that. We don't teach that. We avail opportunities. That's what we do. And the individual, is responsible for themselves to take advantage of the opportunity. The reason I prayed to God when I was 8 years old, and invited or asked God to teach me His truth and to take away the false teachings of men, the reason that happened was because I had the access to God made available to me. And that's why that happened. If it wasn't made available, it would not have happened. Simply, it would not have happened. It would not have come to be, because I would be busy engaged in church stuff. See? But that pre-church stuff was free of any influence other than me bending my knees and talking directly to God. That was an opportunity. And I took advantage of that opportunity. Así que cuando tenía 8 años de edad, yo oré a Dios y le pedí que quitara de mi mente toda enseñanza humana y me enseñara sus verdades y que me diera sabiduría. Y eso no vino por facultad religiosa, eso vino por causa de que a mí se me dio la oportunidad y yo tomé a ventaja de esa oportunidad. Y por eso pude orar así y recibir el beneficio de esa oportunidad. So, again, si no fuera por eso, yo estuviera como cualquier otro religioso, como cualquier otro que va a la iglesia y hace las cosas por costumbre, porque los demás lo hacen, porque la ley lo dice, porque la Biblia dice así. Pero yo soy diferente y mi distinción es genuina porque yo me aproveché de la oportunidad que se me otorgó, que se me ofreció y yo lo tomé. Okay, so that is the important thing, very important. So children, providing your child with opportunities for them to engage the spirituality. Again, this applies to all peoples, all faiths, or no faith at all. Just to tune into this part of the universe, the ebb flow of energy in the universe. You want to talk like that? We could talk like that. It doesn't matter. Really. Because if that's what it is, that's what it is. If it's God, right, then it's God. It's still tapping into the energy of the universe, to the creator of the universe, the energy that flowed, that created this universe. Same thing. Talk about the same thing. Okay. So it doesn't matter what your belief system is. What matters is that the child is given opportunity to take advantage of connecting to that's that other place and that energy that exists and that makes a real big difference in our lives. So that's really important. So that is the first thing that you guys, fathers and parents of children, you need to afford your children opportunities for spirituality, for connecting to spiritual things, for discovery. And God is good about answering prayer. You don't need to worry about that. It has nothing, God, let God do it. So, you got to look at like people like Abram in the Bible. He first was named Abram before he was Abraham, right? And you got to understand, he was the son of an idol maker. These guys, his father would know was religious, or so he would know religious things from each of the statues and idols that he made, that he fabricated. Matter of fact, he would be. You ever thought about like those the grave? What they call those guys anyway? The funeral directors. We call them today funeral directors. The funeral director. He's mostly they're not ministers. They may be, but they don't have to be. But they know how to say the funeral things, right? They know this because it's part of the business. I knew people that were funeral directors who were not. They're atheists. Okay, they're atheists. They don't believe in God. Yet they knew what verses in the Bible to read and what to say and everything, like a minister would say. See, so Abraham's father was just like that. He knew all the rituals for this idol, for that idol, for that idol. There was no minister, no priest in that day or in that area where they were. He would be able to help those who believed in this idol to conduct a service or to conduct some worship or some prayers. He would be able to do it, right? Because he knew the story and he knew this talk. That was Abraham's father. Okay, so Abraham was raised in an environment of religiosity, right? That his father knew. If his father knew these things, he was teaching it to Abraham. You knew that. I mean, that's an obvious. Seguro que si Abraham estaba criado por un padre que conocía los ídolos, que fabricaba los ídolos, ¿ok? Y entonces como una persona que su negocio era fabricar los ídolos, él tenía conocimiento de los sacerdotes, de cómo hacer la oración a este ídolo. Alguien le preguntaba de ese otro ídolo, cómo se venera, pues él sabía cómo hacer la veneración y le daba un ejemplo, cómo hacerlo. Así que él podía ser como sacerdote de todos esos dioses, porque tenía el conocimiento. Ese era el padre de Abraham. Pero usted tiene que entender que en esos tiempos los padres enseñaban a los hijos. So you have to understand that fathers taught their children their trade back in those days. So that Abraham, you have to understand that Abraham learned from his father all about these idols and the prayers and what these religious things were for each of these idols. So that was in Abraham's mind. Así que tú conoces que esto era una cosa que estaba en la mente de Abraham. Yet, we see Abraham go and discover a non-physical God, a God that his father never fabricated because it wasn't an idol. See that? So así, entonces vemos que Abraham va y descubre el Dios que no era un ídolo, un Dios que no tenía representación como ídolo en la tradición de su padre. So unlike those others, Abraham learned, even though his father had this religiosity well cemented into the fabric of his upbringing and in his family culture, we see that Abraham found the truth. He sought the true God. See? So this is very important that we understand that. Nosotros tenemos que entender esa parte muy importante. Abraham encontró el verdadero Dios, aunque su padre y su crianza era religioso, bastante religioso. See? Now, what made the difference? The difference was this vital point that I'm making today. The one thing that Abraham learned, though, was seeking God. He sought the truth because he reasoned all of these gods can't be right. All of these gods cannot be right. There has to be some God above all of these. We see Abraham was able to reason above the capacity of most of his fellow men at the time. So Abraham, and that is the faith. You see, that is where God connected with Abraham. That's why God speaks highly of Abraham. He said, all these other dummies out there, forgive me for my language, but I just have to say it the way it is. All these other dummies out there, and none of them sat down to think that there has to be a higher God than all of this stuff, because they're using these things, and they're seeing, but there has to be a higher reality and a higher truth. And here we have Abraham coming from the family and the father that he came from, able to break loose and seek the truth. That's what made Abraham special. Así que Abraham fue especial porque aunque tenía toda la sociedad, tenía multidioses, eran politeístas, su padre era hacedor de los ídolos y ¿sabes? Haber con la habilidad de ser, como decir, el sacerdote de todos esos ídolos y todos esos dioses. Pero, Abraham buscó más allá. Y por eso Dios conectó con Abraham. Ese es un simiente muy bueno. Esa es una persona individual muy especial. Okay? So again, giving the opportunity. So it doesn't really matter, where you are as a man, as a father, as a parent. Giving the opportunity is the most important thing, because you know what? God will take care of the rest. Really. Así que si damos la oportunidad al niño, Dios se encarga del resto. See? So we don't even really, we don't have to teach them all the things. We don't have to make them into religious copies of ourselves. And that's what I've avoided doing with these children here in my house. Because making them a copy of you may not be a good thing at all. It may stifle the true potential of one of your kids. One of your kids may be a more greater than you. I mean, I'm talking about myself as a minister, the things that I'm doing. Maybe one of these kids will be greater than me. That's a possibility. So why am I going to give them my suit to wear? Let them discover, let them grow, let them encounter God on their own terms. And God will handle the rest. And let the work of God, amen, be completed in them to the glory of God. To the glory of God, to his honor, and according to his will, which will be greater than my imagination for them. What I dreamed for them to be, they could be a minister, they could take over my church, they can continue where I left off. Like if my thing is the best thing since sliced cheese, sliced bread, whatever. Sometimes it smells like sliced cheese, right? Somebody sliced some cheese there. So yeah, you have to be real. Nosotros tenemos que ser realista y dejar que Dios obra, pero dar la oportunidad. Nosotros sí podemos y debemos de ofrecer las oportunidades para el descubrimiento espiritual. So we should and we must allow for opportunities of discovery, of spiritual discovery for the children to have a relationship with God personally, not to them be copies of us, and things like that. So people have to really look at things a different way. A lot of you like to take, you bring your kids to church and they're supposed to be like you are and do the things in the church like you did and stuff like that. And then you have great disappointments when they get to be 18, 19, 20, whatever, or even earlier, and they mess up. And they why go through that when in reality you need just to let them have opportunities to know God, and that's that. The rest of it, really, they messed up. It's not a church thing. It's just in the spiritual. It's a cognitive issue. It has nothing to do with church. If they mess up, that's a bad decision. That has nothing to do with going to church or being a Christian. It has to do with making a mistake. Okay, that has nothing to do with the spirituality that they were supposed to have, or they were supposed to be Christian, or they're supposed to be born again. First they're supposed to think right. A person that doesn't think right, no matter what they call themselves, they're not going to do the right things. Christian or not Christian, doesn't matter. See? And people will be going to church, and when Jesus comes, they'll be in the church. They're the ones who are going to close the church the day Christ comes to take his church away. There will be people in the church to close the church. Pastors, I know that the pastors have a secret knowledge. And our knowledge is that we don't have to worry about the rapture, because when the rapture happens, there's always going to be someone left to close the church up, so we pastors don't have to worry. That's our little inside joke. Así que nuestro chiste como ministros es que no tenemos que preocuparnos de la venida del Señor, porque cuando el Señor venga a retirar su iglesia, siempre va a haber alguien en la iglesia para cerrarla. No tenemos que preocuparnos. Es un chiste nuestro. So that's the facts of life. So again, como estoy diciendo que esta realidad no tiene que ver con un hijo que esté en la iglesia, no. Esto no es asunto de religiosidad, esto es asunto de genuinosamente, o de lo genuino. This is an issue of being genuine. That's why I said what I said. Are you genuinely a Christian? Are you genuinely a son of God, a daughter of God? That is, at the end of the day, what matters. Okay? So that is something inside. It was, again, can never be if there's no development of a significant and honest relationship in spirit and in truth, as Jesus Christ says in the scripture, with the Father. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Simple as that. No matter how much someone tries to make you religious, or how much a parent wants their children to be religious, it's not going to work. No point in it. So I'm not wasting the little black hairs that I got left on my body, on my head, trying to make someone Christian who isn't going to be, or at least doesn't want to be, until they, they sowed some seeds out there, or did whatever they wanted to do, and discovered the truth for themselves, because they haven't found out about it yet. I'm not going to waste my hairs on trying to make somebody what they aren't. Okay, the only thing I am going to do, which is easy to do, is to afford them an opportunity. That's it. I give you the opportunity. Here it is. Así que no voy a gastar los peditos negros que me quedan tratando de forzar una persona que sea un hijo de Dios, sea cristiano, que todavía no quieren, no saben, o forzándolo religioso. Yo soy psicoterapeuta, yo puedo convencer a la gente a hacer cualquier cosa. As a psychotherapist, I have the knowledge to make people do anything I want them to do. I can do that. The thing is that I don't. I only give people opportunities to do the right thing. You see? And I can show people, and people hearing me right now, no, I haven't forced them to do anything. And I don't. I refuse to do that. I don't use my abilities and my knowledge to force people to do things. I only offer opportunities for people to do the right thing. And it is what it is. And you see what it is. You see that you're not doing the right thing. You see it. That's all. And that's okay, because I don't have, again, I don't do things uh, depending on the actions of someone else. I only give opportunities for other people to grow. And that's all it is with me. Así que I learned enough to know that that's not something you do. You just simply, you give a person opportunity, and they either do or they don't. It's good for them. It's their issue. If they do, that shows that they're growing. It shows that they have maturity. It shows that they're able to take care of business. If they don't, it shows that they can't. and it just, you can see in the things in the life, and they see it for themselves. They just can't handle it. They just don't know how to do things and how to get things done. And so that's that. That it is what it is. So as I was said, all my purpose here on this planet is to teach and offer people opportunities to learn. And that's it. That's what I do here. Yo estoy haciendo aquí, mi papel aquí es de enseñar y de ofrecer a otros oportunidades de aprender y de demostrar que aprendieron. Y eso es todo. Yo no dependemos sobre otro para nada, sino que lo que son oportunidades de aprender para una persona, de crecer. Y así debemos de hacer todas las cosas aquí. So, giving your child the opportunity to seek God and to know what the truth is. Aprender lo que es la verdad. And of course, for this, you need to know what the truth is yourself. Usted tiene que entender lo que es la verdad usted mismo, right? So again, you need to be able to know, to distinguish what is truth from what is untruth. And that's the way your child can learn from you. Now, if you don't know this, again, all is not lost. Because again, the child, through access of the spiritual, can learn for themselves, just like I did. I didn't learn to know what the truth was and what it isn't from my parents. I didn't learn from them. I did not learn from my pastor either. No aprendí de mis padres qué es la verdad y qué no es la verdad, ni tampoco aprendí de mis pastores qué es la verdad y no es la verdad. ¿Okay? Yo aprendí de Dios, usando la oportunidad de buscar de Dios que me ofrecieron. Eso sí que me ofrecieron. So my parents and my pastors offered me the opportunity. My parents and my pastors offered me the opportunity to seek God and to inquire of the truth. And that's the opportunity I took and took advantage of. And that's why I know what they didn't know, which is how to know what the truth is, as opposed to just accepting a belief system. Okay? Now, my pastor never spoke the way I speak. Never spoke about distinguishing what the truth was. He always spoke like most typical pastors do. So they just speak, scripturally. The Bible says this and that, and we're to do that. This is the typical pastoral preaching or teaching type of stance. That's what my pastors did, which is fine. In the religious context, it is what's expected, but not the absolute knowledge of how to distinguish truth from what is not true. And that is something that I learned from God directly, not from any man. My parents didn't offer me that either. My parents, just simply took me to church. They availed spiritual access to me. That's what they did, and God blessed them for that. And I thank them for that. It's really important. But the truths I learned directly from God. So as a parent, you don't have to be a theologian. You don't have to be someone who's able to write like I am a book on any topic in theology, and it'd be interesting. Okay, you don't have to be that. All you have to do is make spiritual access available to your child. Give them an opportunity to connect with God. And it's as simple as sitting at a table with a meal with your child and invite your child, let's give thanks to God for this meal. And you simply close your eyes and give your child an opportunity to connect with the Creator. And you're doing a world of good, really. Con solo, tú no necesitas ser un teólogo, poder escribir un libro como yo, de cualquier tema en teología y que se vea interesante. Usted solamente con traer sus hijos a la mesa y invitarlos a que oran contigo una oración, a dar gracias a Dios por los alimentos que van a tomar, es suficiente para traer a su hijo acceso a lo espiritual. Now it's up to your child to take advantage of the access, but it's really something that you can afford. Así que depende del hijo ahora de tomar provecho, de la ventaja del acceso que le está brindando. All right, so I think I've covered the first most important thing very adequately for you guys to really understand what it is you're doing. You're not teaching them to be Christian. You're not teaching them to be another church member of your church. You're not teaching them to, for anything really. You're just giving them an opportunity to access the spiritual or universal energies, in the universe. That's it. And that is the most important thing that you need to allow your child to experience, even if it's like meditation. Just let's meditate. Just give a moment of quiet, of silence, of reflection. Just that, just so that your child learns to be quiet, to be still, and as the Bible says, and know that I am God. You see that? You have to give them the opportunity to be quiet and still. The rest, you leave it to God or the energies that be. But just let it go. Let it happen. Give your child the opportunity. Así que, aunque tú seas ateo, aunque sea de cualquier religión, no importa, usted necesita brindar a su hijo la oportunidad de tener momentos de quietud, de silencio, y como la Biblia dice, conocer que soy Jehová, tu Dios, y dejar que Dios toque a su hijo, que su hijo extiende su mente, su alma a Dios y conecte con Él, o con el poder de la autoridad del universo, la energía, cualquier cosa que puede ser, si no cree en Dios, cualquier cosa. La cosa que dejar que su hijo tenga la oportunidad de tomar la ventaja de lo espiritual. Y eso es muy importante. All right, so let's get into the second most important thing that you need to teach your child right now, and that is financial. Let's talk about financial area. It's very important, especially, it was always important, but I'm going to tell you something, that the way things are going right now, la segundo más importante cosa ahora es lo financiero. Y porque las cosas como están yendo ahora mismo son muy importantes. I'm going to show you today what you need to do and what your children need to learn from you as a parent. That's going to make a big difference in your lives from now on. Okay. I know you guys like to give your children video games. I know you guys like to let them watch TV. Okay. Between today's lesson and next Sunday's lesson, which you need to hear as a part of this, so don't miss next Sunday's lesson, because I'm going into some other nitty gritty things you need to be doing for your family that has part to do with what I'm going to tell you now. So you need to plan for next Sunday, by the way. But your child needs to be learning from you and with you some financial skills. And we're going to talk about what financial skills you need to develop right now with your child. Así que sus hijos necesitan aprender de ti y contigo unas habilidades financieras. Ustedes le dejan jugar juegos video, ver televisión y no le están enseñando unas técnicas de lo financiero que deben estar desarrollando. The closer your child is to teenage years, teens, You have to think about teens as tens, because that's what teens mean. Usted tiene que empezar a ver sus hijos que llegan a la edad de los, ¿cómo se llama eso? De la adolescencia, right? Que empiezan a ser 13, 14, 15, esas CC, right? Eh, que ya en inglés le otorgan el palabra teen, que es una extensión de la palabra 10. So, T-E-N es 10 en inglés, T-E-E-N es un adolescente en inglés, ¿ok? So, entienda eso. So, adolescence in a child is closely related to tens, the number tens. It's obviously their age, but we're going to bring in another reality with that. Vamos a traer también, aunque sea por su edad, que se atrae el 10, 16, 17, pero queremos traer con eso esa, la idea de que el 10 es como representación de finanzas, de dinero, como los diezmos, right? Like the tithing is a tenth. It has to do with financial things, right? The tenth. So that your child has gone over the age of 10, that 10th year and beyond, you really should be working with your child on financial things. Very little, age appropriate, but you need to be training the child financially. Así que cuando el niño llega a los 10 años de edad en adelante, usted debe de estar entrenando a su hijo en cosas financieras, poco a poco, de acuerdo a su capacidad, pero empezando a los 10 años para arriba. As a matter of fact, if at 10 years old, with or without your child's cognitive ability to understand, you need to be separating a separate bank account already with the child as a co-beneficiary of that account, and you need with the child to be putting away money, putting in the money, the seed money for future things you're going to work with your child in the financial thing. That's the child's future bank account. Some people started off early on, good for you. Some people have insurance policies that have insurance for the child in the case something happens to the parents. Great stuff, good stuff, exactly. It's things that you need to be doing. But especially and particularly, and in addition to those things, you need to establish with the child some financial activity, dad and son, dad and daughter, mother and son, financial activities from the 10th year onward, slowly building up. It can include money for college. It can include money for their own house, to buy their own house, or real estate, get into real estate investing. There's no reason why a child at the age of 18 should not be starting to have investment properties and learning how to deal with issues of getting a house prepped and fixed up for rental and stuff like that. You know, there's no reason. Yeah, he's going to be a scientist. Yeah, he's going to be a doctor. He's going to be a lawyer. That's great. You want him to be whatever, but also he and she should already at 18 years old know how to fix up a house and put it on the market or rent it. Simple. That's what should be happening. 18, let me tell you something. When a kid gets to be 18, he is considered a man in this society. So he should know how to fix a house and sell it at 18. Simple. It's not just driving a car, it's knowing how to do business. Así que un niño a los 18 años, un adolescente, ya debe de saber cómo hacer cosas, cómo arreglar una casa, cómo venderla, cómo rentarla, arrendarla. Esas son cosas que ya a los 18 ya debe saber. No solo es conducir un carro. So if you had your 18-year-olds become 18 and they didn't know how to fix up a house and sell it, then you know that you did not do your job in preparing them for adulthood, because at 18 they can sign a contract. If they can sign a contract and buy a house at 18 years of age, then that other stuff I just finished talking about, they should know how to do. So again, I mean, most parents are only they're 18 now, they can drive a car. Oh my goodness, really? That's all you're thinking about when you're 18 and they can sign a contract and own real estate? You have to be kidding me. If that's all you're thinking, now they can drive a car. So it shows you, and it shows you how many parents do you know at 18 had their kids ready to fix houses and sell them? How many do you know? It shows you where most people's head is at. Yet at 18, they can sign those contracts. So again, you got to start this when they're 10. You have to start building up their financial stability, their ability, not do it for them, but help them. The things you're doing for them are in your own insurance policy. Las cosas que tú estás haciendo por ellos se encuentra en que usted prepara en su póliza de seguro, que ellos tengan un beneficio si algo falla, si uno de ustedes, su esposa, o si tú te mueres, su pareja, o tú te mueres antes de tiempo, pues o cuando sea, que sus hijos reciben una cantidad de que reemplaza ¿cómo se dice? Su porción de contribución a su vida, lo que tú desearías contribuir para ayudarlos. So when you're getting a life insurance policy, you're trying to figure out how much should it be for, you have to set in your insurance policy enough money as a benefit to help your child um, gain the things that they would need to continue in life. The things like that you would have wanted to provide for them if you had been alive. So you need to figure, some, how life is. Sometimes you need an extra $5,000 here and there and over there. So you start adding up those times when you needed $5,000 here, there, and over there. The time that you needed, $50,000 to put a down payment on a house. The time your car broke down and you needed a new car. What you would want them to have a new car, $25,000, $30,000. Get the new car, keep moving, keep this program on the road. You need to put all that together and find out how much money would you want to leave your kid so that he's able to take care of the important things in his life where you're not there to give him a helping hand. And so that is what you need to do, and you need to do that as early as possible, because when you do it as early as possible, it's cheaper for you, right? Because you're doing it early. It's cheaper money when you're younger. When you get older, it's like late. You're getting late there. And there's other things to do if you're older now. You didn't do that then. There's other ways to do the same thing and do it in a better way, in a more significant way, which we'll get to today. You'll hear it today. So, but if you have the time, your kids are young, insurance policy, benefit. Make sure there's enough there where your kids are taken care of if something happens to you or their mom. But when they get to 10 years old and beyond, you need to start building up financial things for them, understanding and preparing them for when they're 18. So gather your thoughts about that. Usted reúne sus pensamientos sobre lo que necesitan muchachos conocer cuando llegan los 18. ¿Qué es lo que el muchacho, muchacha puede hacer cuando llegan 18? Todo. So, tú tienes, cuando llegan los 10 años de edad, tú tienes 8 años nada más. You only have 8 years. When they hit 10, their 10th birthday. I have one kid here. Next year is his 10th birthday. And I'm going to start that process with him. His 10th year. I'm already starting, by the way. I'm going to tell you something I'm doing. But on his 10th birthday, I will sit with him and begin his financial development. That's what I'm going to do for my kid here when he becomes 10. You need to begin, and you need to have a plan that so that by the time he's 18 or she is 18, they have a significant financial mechanism under their belt, but they're good. They're good and stable, no matter what else happens. And that's the other thing. You have to make it so that no matter what else happens, they're good. Okay, that's very important. So I'm going to tell you the main things you need to do and have to make sure that no matter what, they're good. Okay, so that's important because it's not just about making money, it's how the money is implemented and how their financial matters are implemented and set in order. Okay, so all of this is very important. Mucho de eso es importante la manera en que se invierte o la manera en que se construye el portfolio financiero de sus hijos. Muy importante para que sea estable, no importando lo que sucede, que tengan finanzas estables. Es muy importante, que no es solamente hacer dinero, no es solamente tener fuentes de ingresos, es tener ingreso, o sea, finanzas indestructibles. In Spanish, I said indestructible finances. I think that's a term you need to think about. Indestructible finances. So everything else can blow up in the world. You need your child, by the time they get 18, has to have indestructible finances. Okay, that's very important concept for you to understand. So 8 years, it's good. It's a good amount of time to develop a stable financial picture for your child and indestructible one at that. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. That's a particular because of the third thing we're going to cover today. Así que por la razón de la tercera cosa que vamos a hablar hoy, necesita usted, y tiene bastante tiempo, en 8 años, de desarrollar un estado financiero indestruible. ¿Ok? Muy importante. So, no solamente es finanzas de que ingresos son indestructibles. So, muy importante concepto. So at 10 years old, 11, 12, you begin to develop the finances. You have to show your child how to make money. I think it's one of the basic classes they need to understand is how is money made. See, because all the time up to then probably you've been spoiling your kid. I want that. I want this. I want that. Here, these kids here know. I say, listen, if you don't know how to make that, you ain't getting that. Because I'm challenging them to learn their math and their science. Because, if you want this, and that, you better learn how it's made. And so that you then deserve to play with that or to have that because you know how it's made. Don't just to be consumers. I'm trying to teach my children not to just be consumers. I want that. I want to play with that of the game. I want to have this or that toy. Do you understand how this thing works? See that I'm challenging them to understand how things work, to look at that, research that, learn that, know that, not just to play. See, so I rather like I do. I don't play many games, but I make games. I've been making games now for the past couple of years now. I've been working. It's a later development in my business acumen, but that's the better state of me of anyone actually, if you know how to make games, is better than just playing games, you know. Así que si tú sabes conocer juegos, es mucho mejor que solamente jugar juegos, right? So again, it's the challenge. It's how you're training your kids. So you challenge them for academic excellence, they will perform. They will meet up with the challenge. And that's what you want. Yeah, then you can play a game, you know, play a game. Fine. But I challenge you to make a game. Why don't you make a game? Let's go put something together. Get that cardboard out of the garbage and let's make a game, you know? So that's something to do. It's an activity. It's a surprising. And I know a lot of you guys probably have done that. You probably had a game you guys did with your kids. You created your own game. You guys played. That's a good thing. Creativity. We see very little of it in today's world because of all the video games, all the electronics and gadgets. People don't need to think anymore, you know, so they just rely on the devices. And God forbid there's no electricity for a few days. Um, you know, look how people get sick if their phone doesn't work. They don't know what to do with themselves. That's sad. But that's the condition that we've been allowing our kids to grow in. They live and breathe through their devices almost. Así que nosotros queremos que los niños sean creativos, no que sean dependientes sobre sus maquinitas, sus computadoras, sus teléfonos para todo. Casi aspiran o respiran a través de su máquina, parece. Si no hay electricidad por 2 o 3 días, ¿qué van a hacer sin teléfono? Es una cosa horrenda, pero es la realidad. Debemos de estimular y dar oportunidades, otra vez, dar oportunidades para que los niños construyan algo, que construyen juegos ahí con la cajita de cereal, cortan eso en pedazos, hagan tarjetitas y vamos inventando un juego así de familia, family game made out of little cards that you cut out, you know, from the cereal box. Why not? And everything is family based, so it's like Uncle Bill's favorite expression. You know, so you know, everybody's trying. What does Uncle Bill always say? So it's a game that's like family based on your family experiences, right? Fun, and it's personal, it's customized to your family, and the kid made it. The kid put it together, right? They had even if it's a group thing, your kids put this together. It's a contribution. Oh, I made a game. I helped the family make a game. This is the family game. It's a great thing. It's a great experience for your kids. It's a learning experience, and it sets a tone for creating things that they normally would not. They would normally be consumers of. But here now they produce their own thing. And then you can do this with video and you know, let's make a show. Let's make a program. Why is it always that we just sit and watch other people do? Why don't we get up and do ourselves? This is the thing you guys need to be working with your kids a lot. But getting back now to the financial things, it's the same thing. Why are we training the kids to depend on a job for their money? ¿Por qué estamos trayendo esto otra vez a lo financiero? ¿Por qué estamos entrenando a los niños a trabajar? O sea, a tener trabajo. Trabajar es importante, pero depender en un trabajo para sus ingresos. Think about this for a moment. Think of the times you didn't have a job. And a lot of you lost your jobs with this pandemic thing. See what happened? So you lost your job. What you did for money? Así que la gente perdieron su trabajo. ¿Qué hicieron por dinero? See? You ever think of that? Now, I said this before in my previous programs. We always have money coming in. Yo dije esto en los programas anteriores míos, que durante el tiempo de que muy pocos estaban trabajando, nosotros siempre recibimos dinero aquí. Siempre entra dinero aquí. Gracias a Dios. You know, thank God always there's money coming in. Thankfully to God. Okay? But if you're trained and you're training your children only to expect money from working at a job for someone else, then you are not preparing them for things that like the pandemic where everything had to shut down. Everything had to shut down. So they're not going to be ready for that. They're going to go through some suffering. Así que van a sufrir si todo es el trabajo, el trabajo, el trabajo. ¿Cómo va ese dinero sin trabajo? ¿Sí? That situation, that should be, your child should not be dependent on a job for money. From 10 years old, de los 10 años de edad, usted necesita estar entrenando a sus hijos, darle oportunidades a que crean ingresos para sí mismos. So you want to give them opportunities to create income for themselves, not depending on a job. The job thing is good. You know, hey, you're going to do a job for dad. I'm going to give you $1 a week. And you're doing, he's working, he's cutting the lawn, whatever it is. He gets $1 a week, whatever. That is, you know. Él da a su hijo $1 a la semana para cortar la grama y todo eso. Él va a tener su enseñanza de trabajar para ganarse su dinero, su $1, porque el papá está. Right? Pero, so that's that. Pero también debe aprender cómo hacer dinero creativamente por sí mismo. So they also have to learn how to create income and money from their own creativity, from their ingenuity, right? From salesmanship, de su habilidad de vender, de ofrecer algo a la venta. Salesmanship is very good to have. Again, in certain conditions like the pandemic and whatnot, it's not going to help too much. But their ability to make things and make income from it is that's the most important thing with this. So give them that opportunity. Dale esa oportunidad de crear cosas. And as they're building these things, or they get these ideas, you can brainstorm with them. What should we do? Can we build a lemonade stand? They'll be learning how to build and construct a little store thing, table, a booth. You know, that same skills are needed to build exhibition booths in a convention center. They may need that in the future and may come in handy. The marketing, the signs, giving out flyers in the community, relate customer relations, knocking on the neighbor's door. Hi, Mrs. Frisbee, we're having some lemonade out there, ice cold lemonade. Oh, the lemonade I really made it nice and special. And would you like me to bring a cup? That's delivery, right? The concept of delivering. Or you want to drop by later on and enjoy that. And so again, marketing, promoting, all these things that you're teaching the 10-year-old child. See the beauty of it? So already you're giving them exposure to entrepreneurship, to building up a business, right? They hammer and nail, even into the construction, because they're building up the table, they're doing the hammering and the nail and all that, and marketing, they're designing the flyers, they're drawing it out, making little cute pictures, whatever. All of these things at whatever level of their capacity, you are giving them an invaluable amount of training. But the great thing is when they make their first few dollars. Listen, it is priceless when they see that they did their effort, they put the thing together, and someone stops by and lays real cold cash, hard cash on the table. Hey, let me have some of that lemonade, and they see the smile after they drink that lemonade. Ah, that's good. And like a day like today, it's real hot here in Florida today. It's in the 90s over here, really hot. And that cool, refreshing drink. I'm sorry you guys are fasting or anything like that, but it's the smile on your child's face. I sold my first lemonade. I sold my first whatever, you know. That is priceless. They'll never forget that. They are so empowered. You've given your child the power of creating income. It's not a job. It wasn't a job. They weren't depending on someone else to give them money. They made this for themselves. They earned their own money. Okay? Esa expresión de hacer la primera venta, de al fin de hacer esfuerzo, de construir, de reunir, de manufacturar, de hacer, de crear, de promover. y hacer entonces y ver ese primer dinero ahí que echan primero. Y ellos, los niños, ver el resultado de su trabajo, el refresco, vamos usando el ejemplo de refresco, y la sonrisa del cliente y aprecio del cliente. Ay, qué bueno estaba esto. Eso es algo, y que ellos ganan, mira, este es mi primer peseta, mi primer dólar. Eso es un poder, una autoridad que ha dado a su hijo inolvidable. Siempre se va a recordar de eso. It's empowering for your child to get that experience, and that money goes into that bank account that you created, when you was 10, and it gets added in. And your child sees that he has the power and the ability to make money. Very, very important. Así que su hijo ve entonces que el dinero se añade a su cuenta que se empezó a los 10 años y que él tiene, ella tiene la habilidad de hacer su propio dinero sin necesidad del trabajo. Muy importante. So that's an important and valuable lesson that you need to help your child to have them have that power. And because everyone with a job, I'm going to say this to you at this point in time, after the pandemic, lessons learned, if all you're depending on is a job for your money, you are doing it foolishly at this point in time. Si después del pandémico que ha pasado y usted todavía está dependiendo solamente y únicamente sobre el dinero de un trabajo para su bienestar, entonces usted sabe ya que está siendo insensato. ¿Okay? Todo el mundo, aunque trabajes en un trabajo, debe de tener otra fuente de ingresos. Everybody who's working, you have no excuse actually. No tiene excusa por no tenerlo. ¿Ok? Solo mala administración. Simple. Si tú eres mal administrador, no vas a tener nada aún con trabajo. Con trabajo, sin trabajo, no tiene nada. Okay? So with a job or without a job, a bad administrator will never have anything. But if you have a job, if you have weekly money or bi-weekly money coming in from a job, you already have more than enough to have other income coming in. As a matter of fact, even if you couldn't before, did you get $1,200 recently? Ustedes recibieron $1,200 recién. ¿Eh? Con ese $1,200 usted podía ser millonario en el fin del año. Right? With that $1,200, I was showing people how to become millionaires by the end of this year, 2020. Okay? That's all you needed. Eso es todo lo que necesitaba. Again, it's an issue of making the right decision. Es un asunto de hacer la decisión correcta. All right. Now, like I said, what are the things to focus on after you help your child make some cash? Well, the thing is that you need to develop either through your own investment in your child, okay, or through having the child continue making money, which is all they can really make the money. I know a young fellow, he made, I'm not sure if he made $1 million or not. I know this other guy, he made $1 million before being 18. He made $1 million using Bitcoin, by the way. He invested in Bitcoin when it was nothing. Okay? And before he was 18, he was a multimillionaire. Right. So again, he asked his parents, he said, if I make $1 million before I'm 18, do I have to go to college? And his parents said, no, you won't have to go to college. If you don't make $1 million before you're 18, you will go to college. So his parents gave him motivation, right? But He said, where can I put this little bit of money that I have and hopefully make $1 million before I'm 18? And this Bitcoin thing came out, and he grabbed that. He brought a few $100s worth back when it was nothing. The guy became a millionaire before 18. Así que este muchacho que conozco antes de los 18, él hizo un desafío con sus padres y dijo, no tendré que ir a la universidad si hago 1 millón antes de los 18, ¿verdad? Y sus padres, porque le estimulaban a hacer millones, pero si no lo hiciera antes del colegio, tenía que ir al colegio porque era la única manera. Pues entonces dijeron que sí, si tú haces $1 millón legalmente antes de los 18 años, no tienes que ir a la universidad. Y así mismo, él cogió el poquito de dinero que él tenía, que él pudo levantar. Y en esos días empezó a salir lo que se llama crypto, pero el Bitcoin en particular fue el primero que se lanzó. Y él puso su dinero en eso. En esos días no costaba nada, Era bien fácil, se podía conseguir miles de Bitcoin por nada, Y él, como no tenía casi nada, él se metió en eso de lleno. Y antes de los 18 años, él era un multimillonario ya. So, again, no tenía que ir a la universidad. Está por ahí haciendo otro crypto ahorita. Empezó como este año. So, está en eso. So, this year, actually, that same guy started a new cryptocurrency, a new coin. So he started that, I think, now in 2020. So he's invested in that and building that up. So that's interesting. There's another guy I know, 18 years old. He has like 4 rental properties. Otro muchacho que conozco tiene 4 propiedades para renta. Ya tiene 18 años. Él tiene dinero. Ese hombre 18 años, I'm telling you, he made, I think, if I'm not mistaken, $1 million in drop shipping. Él hizo $1 millón en, ¿cómo se llama? Él lo vende por el internet, pero la compañía que lo hace es que lo manda. So, él no brega con la mercancía, sino que él solamente brega en la promoción. $1 millón hizo ese muchacho, 18 años de edad. So that's another kid. I mean, his parents have to be proud of him. He has income. He has rental properties he makes income from. I mean, he made $1 million already from his drop shipping business. He's always investing in other investment types of things. Siempre está inversionando en otros tipos de inversiones. He tries them out. He puts his own flair into things, and sometimes things work and other things don't work. But that's okay. That's part of the learning process. Él pone su dinero e invierte y trata cosas. A veces trabajan las cosas, a veces no, pero él tiene dinero para tratarlos, ¿no? Pero la cosa es que él pone de su parte, pone de su personalidad en todo lo que hace y a veces gana, muchas veces no gana, pero él aprende. El punto es, the thing you got to realize that, that 18-year-old, he knows the value of trial and error. So he'll try something and he'll see if it works or not, and he goes on from there. And he wins. He wins big, and other times he loses big, right? But again, it's a growing process. This is an issue that you have to grow with and you have to learn. Así que, but if you wait till you're 18 to start doing these things, and some people never learn these things at all in their life. Alguna gente no aprende esa cosa nunca en la vida. So again, that's why if you had started off at 10 years old and starting exposing your kid to education, to examples, to role playing, and then trying something out and see how that works and this and that. Throughout those years, your child can learn a lot of things that can even help them in their career, in the job, the 9 to 5 job. it could really help them in a big way, even if the job becomes that mainstay, which it shouldn't be, but it can easily be. But if they have this experience from early on in their life, it's a good thing. Plus the fact that the income that they've generated is still there if something goes wrong with the job thing. So that's very important as well. Así que aunque nosotros entrenamos los niños, muchas veces el niño va a trabajar, no va a tener un negocio triunfante en la vida, pero el dinero que acumuló debe siempre estar allí para cuando no haya trabajo. Es el punto. So between 10 and 18, you need to develop that, what we call that nest egg, so that the child has something to fall back on in case the job thing doesn't work out. I see, and which often doesn't. Jobs are not guaranteed. That's why it's foolish. Los trabajos no son garantizados, por eso es algo insensato de solamente depender de una fuente de ganancia. Let me give you guys some little secrets here. Those of you who are staying in tune for the good stuff. You know the good stuff near the end, right? You know that, right? Ustedes saben que la cosa buena viene así casi al fin. So the first secret here to always make money is that you have to understand that the money, permanent source of money, okay, fiat, is only from one source. Hay que entender que el fuente de dinero solo estable, solo puede venir de una fuente. And that source is the government. El fuente es el gobierno. Now, I'm not talking about welfare. Yo no estoy hablando de, ¿cómo se llama? Los beneficios así no sé cómo decirlo en español. Welfare, ustedes saben lo que es programa del gobierno para pobres o algo así. No me estoy refiriendo a eso. Estoy refiriendo a pagos que hace el gobierno para servicios. So what I'm talking about are payments that the government provides, pays out for services rendered. That's what we're talking about. One of the things to be very clear and concise with you guys, is foster care. And there's other types. There's medical foster care. There are different types of foster care. There is senior care as well. There's many programs you have to look into that the government provides steady, faithful payments for. Okay, you can have a job. Matter of fact, you're probably required to have a job in order to qualify to be part of the programs. But that is the steadiest money you're ever going to find on the face of the planet. Así que el dinero es el más estable si en la planeta es de los pagos que hace el gobierno para el cuidado de niños o cuidado de ancianos. Y eso un gran, that also the care programs for seniors, for adults, are very lucrative. Matter of fact, you can get a house, you can buy a house, and probably in some areas, they can probably even buy the house for you. You have to look for these programs. You need to do research. And you can set up a home to take care of old people, and the government is going to pay you steady cash, and it's a good amount of money, and that pays off. It pays off for that house, pays your house off, pays off for the property. And the best thing to get a house, never get a house, just a house and very little land. You need to get land. Let me say again, get land. Well, hay que buscar casa con terreno. Nunca compra una casa sin terreno, o sea, con terreno, poca terreno, en un ambiente que es muy limitado. You don't want to be limited with your options. If you're going to get into some real estate, get into some real estate with some land so that you have options of making money. So that's another thing. Cuando está para comprar terreno, casa, que para ponerlo anciano, para tener ese ingreso de anciano, usted también compra casa con terreno, porque el terreno te ofrece más opciones. All right, so I give you yes, little hint, land. Una clave aquí es terreno, terreno, terreno. Te da más amplitud. Okay, so again, if you had that set up, you during the pandemic, you would have lost your job. There would be no income coming in from your job, but you would have had steady income coming in from the government, the same government who sent everybody else $1,200 one time has been sending these people thousands of dollars every month. Así que el gobierno que te dio $1,200 es el mismo gobierno, una vez, es el mismo gobierno que manda a estas personas miles de dólares mes por mes por mes. Okay? Now, and this is the reality. There's many different programs. So don't think foster care, this and that. You know, there's other programs. I say like the adult care program is another one that you may want to get into, especially if you have something to invest into some property. You want to look into that because that's a really good opportunity. Very good opportunity for you there. And these are income producing. The properties will pay themselves off and they produce income for your family. Okay. So this is something, again, you can get, if you got 3 children, 2 children, you can make one of these for each of your children and just leave it there for them. These things are there going to create income. Your children are going to have income coming in every month, even after you die. If you didn't do the insurance thing I told you about, then at least if you do this idea, your child will have money every month, which is much better, as a matter of fact, as just leaving the money in the insurance policy. Es mucho mejor si usted no dejó dinero a sus hijos en una póliza de seguro de vida. Pues esto es un segundo, formular una casa así como de anciano, voy a decir, de anciano, y entonces uno para cada uno de sus hijos, y así pues, aunque si tú te falleces, sus hijos van a recibir dinero mensualmente, y eso es mucho mejor que solo tener algún pago de lo que es restante de un póliza de seguro, pequeño por ahí o común. So mucho mejor. So it's much better that the child receives monthly income than it is for them to receive like one shot deal and it's a few $1,000s, whatever, because that money will go in the next emergency, and usually it's an emergency just to go and attend the funeral service. Así que el dinero que uno deja en la póliza de seguro casi siempre es poco dinero para, como decir, cubrir una emergencia, y la emergencia ocurre con asistir a la funeraria para enterrar al viejo, ¿no? So that's it, it's gone. It's better to leave money coming every month to the kid, to your descendants. It's much better. So these are ways that you can do that. Now, as long as the government stands, mientras que el gobierno está en pie, ese dinero sigue viniendo. See? So as long as the government stands, that money keeps coming. Pandemic or no pandemic, that money comes. It keeps coming in. So of all the people that lost their jobs and didn't have any money to pay the rent, the people who were foster care, who were medical homes, foster care, who were doing the elder care type of program, and a few other programs which I escapes me right now. They always got their money. Their money came in faithfully without a hitch, no hiccups. Así que el dinero siempre entró a aquello cuando todos los demás no tenían trabajo, no tenían ingreso. El dinero siempre entraba de los foster, de la de lo médico, del cuidado de los viejos y de otros programas que hay. Siempre ese dinero es constante, consistente, constante, no importa. So again, that's something that you guys should avail yourselves of, things like that. That's like the best thing if you can get. Not everyone qualifies, not everyone can make it. It's true, but if you can, you should do something. You can't qualify for the foster care. Do the elder care. There's a lot of money in that. There's a great need for that. And this, you guys can make a lot of money just with that. And think about that. And you buy property, and all you have to do is continue to buy property and just make them elder care homes. That's all you got to do. It's very simple. Todo lo que tienen que hacer es seguir desarrollando casas de cuidado de ancianos. Y esto es fácil. All right. So, put that on your radar and really look into that and develop those for your kids. This is things that you leave for your kids so that your kids have steady income coming in after you're gone. Right now, they're helping you make income and your money and keeping your family alive and safe. But when you leave, when it's time for you to go, your kids can inherit those properties and that income keeps coming in for them. There's other little keys and secrets here, but you'll have to pay me my fee to get those little hints and secret ways of doing those things. I'm just giving you the idea. You do the research or take my classes, and you get the rest of the nitty gritty on that in those. Time is running out. We have to go on to the next things. All right, so that's key. Um, the other thing, there are certain businesses that if you organize it well, you have to make them pandemic proof. That's my suggestion to you guys now, is to make your businesses pandemic proof. Okay, so that means that even if, the restaurants that I promote, I have it pandemic proof because of the other things that we have in support of the restaurants that make that basically that make delivery the primary way of delivering food, so that the issue that the restaurant can accept people sitting in it doesn't matter. See, so that's a way of making a restaurant, for example, pandemic proof. The way that we have our networks, it is pandemic proof in that sense. Nosotros tenemos nuestro programa de restaurante, por ejemplo, y no importa si hay pandémico, nuestros restaurantes pueden seguir sin paro porque tenemos sistema de distribución que es parte de nuestro sistema en general. Así que no interfieren. Nuestros restaurantes no tienen que cerrar porque se convierte de restaurantes de sentarse uno adentro de un restaurante a restaurantes cocinas solamente que distribuyen el orden a través de distribuidores móviles. So our restaurants can be sit in and can rapidly change to distribution through our car delivery system immediately. So that is not an issue for the networks that we've developed for the restaurant business and for other business genres as well. So you can run business, you can develop a business, but if you do, uh, try to make it as pandemic proof as possible so that those things can be assured and guaranteed even when the things are not going well. Now we're running out of time, so in the next few moments we're going to talk about survivability, the third thing. La tercera parte de este programa es, ¿cómo se dice? Sobrevivencia, cómo sobrevivir. La tercera cosa que tienen que enseñar sus hijos. So, survivability, that goes in line with what I just said about making your business and making your income pandemic proof. Usted necesita buscar fuentes, parte de lo que yo terminé de hablar, haciendo que sus fuentes de ingresos sean no destruidos por algo como el pandémico, como ya pasó. So lo que tienen que hacer es tratar de construir, desarrollar el ingreso para que no que sea afectada por un pandémico, por una cerrada general de la nación mínimo o lo más mínimo posible. Okay. Again, doing things through my network, the way that I've done it and through us, is your best bet in making this happen. I'm not saying that because I'm promoting something, really not. It's simply because if you've taken the time to look at my, I guess, commercials or infomercials, you would notice that my network, the network that we develop and we were developing throughout all the nation, is basically full of support structure so that our businesses can continue to run even if things change. We don't have to start looking for an option, or we don't have to start now developing an option if something happens. These options are already in place all the time. Así que no estoy promoviendo de mis negocios, sino estoy enseñando que la manera que yo he hecho las redes comerciales, que yo promuevo mucho, está capaz ya de primera fase de sobrevivir un pandémico, una cerrada de la nación entera, etcétera, etcétera, por la manera en que nosotros desarrollamos nuestras redes. Son soportes que normalmente un negocio normalmente no tiene. Y cuando llega una emergencia así, no lo tienen y tienen que cerrar y sufrir pérdidas. Nuestros negocios no tienen que cerrar porque pueden adaptarse inmediatamente con los recursos que ya tenemos en sitio, en posición, disponibles. So our businesses can quickly adapt. Other businesses can't because they're operating on just one thing, and that's how they develop their business. Our businesses are developed in an atmosphere of supportive networking, so that even when things change in the environment, like they close down the whole nation, our businesses can continue to operate and still be profitable through the networking that we have, the businesses develop within. So that's to make it plainer. So our businesses, our restaurants, et cetera, can continue even though everybody else can't because they're either have to shut down, they have no alternatives, or they have to take a lot of time to build up the alternative while we already have them built in from day one. So that's the difference. Okay. Así que eso es la diferencia entre hacer negocios sin nuestras redes. So the survivability issue. What has this pandemic showed you? It showed you the following. It showed you that, first of all, you need to change the things you're doing, the way you're doing them. El pandémico te ha enseñado que tienes que cambiar la manera que estás haciendo las cosas. It showed you that you have to train your kids for survival. Okay, I'm not, with this, I'm not saying that everything's going down the tubes. Yo no estoy diciendo con esto que todo va a destruirse aquí en los Estados Unidos, por ejemplo. No estoy diciendo eso, no estoy pronosticando eso. I'm not prognosticating that. I'm not prophesying that. So get that straight. I'm not saying that everything's going to go down the tubes. I'm just saying to be ready. Be prepared. Yo solo estoy diciendo prepararse para si todo cae al piso. Okay? To say that now, I have to tell you that I said last week that I was going to upload the other teachings of Roku. I haven't done it yet. La semana pasada, hablando de esto, yo dije que iba a subir las otras enseñanzas a Roku y a las otras redes. No lo he hecho todavía. ¿Por qué? Why haven't I done so? I have been compromised. Yo he sido comprometido. Hay que admitirlo. I'm going to make a confession. I've been compromised. How have I been compromised? because I have been focused on dealing with survivability and the topic for next week on what to do for your family right now. I'm going to cover it in detail next week. But I have been busy here in my house, preparing my house for the collapse of the things we know. Así que yo he estado preparando mi hogar para el colapso de lo que conocemos hoy día. Right? So esa es la razón que no ha subido a enseñanza porque no he tenido tiempo. I have been totally dealing with things. We're still in the pandemic mode. There's still things that I need that I couldn't find. I did find something the other day. I ordered it. It's here. It came here this morning, by the way, Sunday. A miracle. I don't know how it happened, but it's here this morning. Yeah. So anyway, yo he ordené cosas que no podía encontrar localmente. There's a lot of things going on you guys are not aware of. You guys are not aware of. I'm looking for survivability of my family, and in doing that, I'm finding the difficulty in finding the things that you need to have. So I'm just letting you guys know that there are a lot of people who are doing the same thing. And if you're not, the thing is this, if you are not doing the same thing, why aren't you? See? ¿Por qué tú no estás preparándose? Because yo sé, porque yo no encuentro muchas veces las cosas que necesito y tengo que buscar mucho, mucho, mucho para encontrarlo. ¿Por qué tú no estás haciendo la preparación? So that's where I've been. It's been taking me longer than I expected, frankly, but thankfully to God, I'm finding the things I believe I found everything that I need right now. So we're in a good place right now. Thanks God. With that delivery this morning, I'm still waiting for another 2 deliveries in the week, but I have them. I ordered it. So, and these things I'll talk about more in detail next week's teaching. So, if you want to hear what you need to be doing right now for your family, next week is the teaching that you need to listen to. So that's what has been happening here. So we are busy with this issue of survivability because my responsibility, I'm getting higher in age. You see my gray hair. So, I have health issues that I have to be worried about. I need to make sure that God, according to God's will, whatever may be my future days, that at least my family, these kids here that I've raised, that they will have what they need to survive. My older child here, who's 21, that he knows what he needs to do when I'm gone to make sure that the other kids that are still young can continue to survive. He knows what to do so he doesn't have to get flustered. This is my responsibility as a father to make sure that his family survives. And all of you fathers out there, you need to make sure that your family survives. And this is no better time, because it's real. This is real. No better time to be training your kids and putting in place the things that need to be in place to ensure that your family survives. Okay? That's your responsibility. Hey, listen, God, Christ kind of lifts up the church, takes us out of all this mess. Beautiful, wonderful. That's it. But your responsibility as a man, as a father, is to make sure your family's prepared. Because there's always going to be someone to close the church. You got my... Porque siempre usted como hombre, nosotros creemos en Dios, creemos que Cristo viene a levantar la iglesia antes que sucede cosas así, pero nuestra responsabilidad como hombre y como padre es asegurar que nuestra familia se sobrevive Porque siempre va a haber alguien para cerrar la iglesia. Ustedes recuerdan lo que estaba diciendo de eso antes. So you remember I said something about that closing the church before, right? That's the inside joke. But the fact is, it's our responsibility. So that's what I've been doing. I've been taking care of my responsibility and putting things in order. So your children, these children now that I have here, all of them are learning now about surviving, about having and doing the things necessary to make sure that if everything shuts down, you have to understand this. You see this thing happening with Black Lives Matter now, right? And all that, the protests and riots. Well, not the protests. Protests are fine, but the rioting, all of that. If that had happened just a month or two earlier, um, you know, Trump opened the economy just at the point. If it had delayed a little longer, we would have slid into a probably an unrecoverable state. Trump held as much as he could, as he felt, because I felt it too. I'm telling you, you know, we think alike, Trump and I, in terms of business, and I wouldn't have held it any further as he did. He had to do what did to save the economy. Okay, so you guys need to understand that. But if these things had happened earlier, this thing would have slid out of control. Okay, people are taking notes, by the way. Not a conspiracy theorist, but I know there's evil people in the world, and those evil people, they took note of how much it took and how close we got to that point. Our enemies have taken note. Believe this, understand this, because I have taken note, and I'm not an evil person, but I'm using this to prepare. Other people who are evil and enemies of this country, they're going to use this to destroy this country. That's their what they're up to. Okay, so know that this is the reality that's out there now. Okay, so that's why it's imperative for you guys to prepare yourselves, prepare your kids for survival and your income. The income that you build throughout these 10 to 18 years of age. You should, at that time, by the 18th birthday, the kids should have some of the monies as in the form of gold coins. Okay, understand that. You need have gold coins or get those gram bars that come in a little plastic case, and they have that little like a little. They look like credit cards, and they have the little gold sliver in there, gram, 16, whatever different amounts. You need to you need to have those on hand, okay, in the safe in your home. Your kids need to know that if everything collapses, it's quite possible that the dollar will collapse as well. The only thing of value to get something you need is going to be gold. So you need to have that. They need to learn that. They need to see it. As a parent, as a father, you need to get enough income coming in so that you can put it into some of these gold and gold coins so that you can have you show your kids this is in the safe. This, and when there's no other money, when everybody is just out of money, out of luck, this is your pass. Okay, you will be able to get things and go places with this. Okay, so you need to understand that. A lot of people are looking at Bitcoin. Mucha gente está, hay que entender que hay que tener oro. Cuando los niños llegan a los 18, tienen que tener oro. En forma, venden oro en forma como si fueran tarjetitas, son de gramo, se dice en español, de onzas de oro. No, la onza es grande, pero venden en gramos, pequeñita, bien finitita, en una cosa plástica para protegerla. Y eso es lo que debe usted acumular en su caja fuerte, en la casa, porque en banco no te va a ayudar si están todos los bancos cerrados. You can't put this gold in the bank, by the way, because it'll be all closed. They won't open up the banks in an emergency like that. And so you need it on hand. You need to have it in your safe and quickly able to transport it in a time of emergency to carry with you, because that's still going to be the state of affairs. That's your emergency plan. Así que el dinero que se desarrolla con sus hijos, usted invierte algún parte en oro para que puedan sobrevivir. Oro ¿cómo se llama eso? De vellón, se dice. Como de pesetas. Las pesetas de oro, los dólares de metal en oro, right? Así. Y venden los gramos como tarjetitas. Así el oro también en esa forma. Eso es lo que necesita. No compre la barra de oro porque eso es muy grande y demasiado de mucho para, como decir, para tener lo que necesita para día tras día. So it's not useful to be in a bar. It's great to show it. To show 2 or 3 bars of gold. It looks great on the screen, but it's not what you need really to live day to day, to get by and get things that you need in that type of situation. Así que necesitan pensar en esas cosas, desarrollar esas cosas. Mucha gente cree en Bitcoin, en la cripto, pero en ese instante usted no va a tener acceso. No va, things can go so out of whack when society collapses that, see, the only reason, like Venezuela, for example, lo que está pasando en Venezuela, la razón que el cripto trabaja para Venezuela y los venezolanos es porque el resto del mundo tiene acceso al Internet y está bregando en Internet. Pero en este caso, es posible que todo el mundo esté fallado y que todo se descompone, aún el acceso a electricidad, al Internet. Eso no te va a ayudar, que tiene cripto. You got to understand that if everything collapses, if the power grid collapses, what's good is your crypto? What are you going to do with your Bitcoin? There's no computers. There's no electricity. What are you going to do with crypto? You have to understand that. That's why you need to have gold, real gold, in your pocket. And that's why you need to have it, because although I do, crypto es bueno, es importante. Crypto is an interesting and important investment thing, but you got to remember that you need gold. At the end of the day, you need gold in the hand in the type of emergencies that's really possible that may occur to us in the U.S. and in the world. So you have to remember that. So again, keep that in mind, and so train your kids. Your kids are going to have to get trained in a few things. You have to train them how to survive in different areas, and if you're in the city, we're going to deal with this next week too. We're going to continue from here. But if you're a city dweller, if you're living where there's a lot of people in a city, you need to train your kids not to depend on city life. You are going to have to prepare them to move. And matter of fact, for your family, you will have to need to move. And when emergencies are beginning to happen, you need a place to go. So I'm going to talk about this next week. Voy a hablar esto de semana que viene. Necesitan un lugar donde ir. Tienen que ir. Si empieza una emergencia de nuevo, severo, tienen que tener un lugar donde ir. Ustedes no gasten el tiempo, por favor. Please don't waste your time any longer. Take the advice from the pastor. Do not waste time. This is not the same world I was born into. Este no es el mismo mundo que yo nací, ni que tú naciste, and that you were born in. Okay, this has changed, baby. This has changed, so you need to make proper preparations. All right, so Yeah, and train your children to survive. What to do? You guys should be practicing every Friday night, survival night, or Saturday night, survival night. You need to get your children accustomed to eating lightly, right? And doing things for survival. Forget the video games. Olvídase de esos juegos de video. Deben enseñar a sus hijos cómo sobrevivir, comer menos y sobrevivir, prácticas para sobrevivir. And in different terrain, con diferente ambiente. You need to be watching TV with your kids, but it's YouTube videos on what plants to eat, what things to do in the wild, to find food in the wild, what things they can have to eat. That's the one you should be doing with your kid, not letting them watch Mary Poppins. Usted no debe estar dando ya a sus hijos películas de Disney, sino YouTube, videos de YouTube de cómo sobrevivir en la jungla, en el ambiente alrededor de donde tú vives, en los parques, en los lugares de árboles, alrededor de las montañas, en el desierto. You gotta go from mountain to lake to desert areas. How to survive, how to get water, how to get food. Those are the things you need to start training your kids in, and all your kids should know how to do that. Okay, do not continue city dwellers, keeping your children living in the city and ignorant of how to survive. Okay, because you're doing yourself a disservice. They need to learn these things. In any case, it's good to learn. I hope it never happens to you. I really do. Okay, but it almost did. It almost did. That's what you have to realize. All we needed was an earthquake, a series of tornadoes, hurricanes, fires, Black Lives Matters, during the key part of this pandemic, and we would have been messed up. You have to think about that. That's all it took. And after this happened now the enemies of the US, they know what to do. So you're done. If you don't prepare, you're done. Okay? Your kids are done. All right? So now that you had the fun making your kids, you had your kids, now be responsible father and prepare them to survive. That's on you. Next week, I deal with what to do for your family. Okay, so keep an eye out and be with us next week. La semana que viene voy a hablar de qué hacer con su familia. Usted, padre, madre, tiene que preparar a sus hijos porque ya nuestros enemigos saben que ya por poquito tumbaron los Estados Unidos y ellos pueden hacerlo adresmente en un futuro, cercana o lejana, pero lo pueden hacer. Ellos vieron ya cómo los Estados Unidos reaccionan y qué fácil, faltaba un poco más para tumbar este sistema. Prepara su familia. So for next week, I'll be helping you with preparing your family, what to do for your family right now. Okay, and we'll share a little bit what I'm doing and how to prepare your family for that. And next week also we'll tie in what we learned today and add a few more things. Next week you will have a something that you can do. I'm going to tell you what we're doing. You will have actionable things that you can do and tie in with what we're doing. I also have a network for that ready for you. So you guys do it. You do it over there. And even if it doesn't happen, I'll show you that you'll be making extra money in your home by doing what we're doing. And we'll be ready for when something happens. That's next week. So if you want to know what to do now, how to position yourself to making more income for your family, for your home, and be prepared at the same time, be prepared for any emergency that can come. You need to make sure you watch next week because next week I'm going to show you how to do that and how to join my network that will help you make the money you want and be prepared at the same time. So next week we do that. That'll be my last teaching for before the sabbatical of the summer. Okay, so you can spend the summer making it happen. Así que la semana que viene voy a hablar de qué tienen que hacer para preparar su familia para sobrevivir a la misma vez, introducir nuevo ingreso a su hogar, y esa va a ser la última enseñanza del año. Y usted con esa práctica, con esa enseñanza que te voy a dar, usted puede implementarlo durante el verano y ser parte de mi red. Así hacen su dinero extra, pero cuando todo se fallece y cae, usted va a estar preparado y su familia va a estar preparada. So eso va a ser la semana que viene. Okay, so don't miss it. I'll see you guys next week. It's Father's Day. The family's waiting to say Happy Father's Day to me. They got great, good things happening out there. So I'm going, and hopefully the same thing's going on with you. Enjoy your Father's Day. See you guys next week. God bless you, and God keep you. Thanks for watching. As always, you knew what to do. This teaching today was worth a few $1,000s. Next week's even more. So send in your appreciation as a Thanksgiving, and to help others get this teaching and information. God bless you and God keep you. Dios le bendiga a todos.